What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Terence Bud Crawford. Terence Crawford has responded to Bob Arum's statement, and he says this. He says, "My contract states that I'm not taking any pay cuts. If we have to fight for the minimum, so be it," Crawford told ESPN. "With the fans unable to come to see the fight, I don't know how that's fair against any. I don't know how that'll fare against any top welterweight in the division. When you look at the whole landscape of the whole thing, it's going to come down to money. And if you can't provide the proper money for each fighter, then how is that going to make the fight happen? But as far as a pay cut, it depends on who we're fighting. Manny Pacquiao is the fight that we're currently looking forward to getting. Like I said, the pandemic has messed up a lot of people as far as money." Now, that's what it comes down to, money. But that's business. As far as Bob Arum was concerned, it wasn't just money. It was the way that he promoted himself to see if the money that Terence Crawford was getting paid was worth. That's the difference. And if I'm Terence Crawford, he's basically pulling a pragmatic decision. This is a pragmatic statement. He's saying, I'm not going to take a pay cut. Lomachenko didn't take a pay cut, so why should he? I agree with him. I would go a step further and saying that, you know what? As long as Bob Arum knew me, why do I have to be like anybody else? You know, it seems like to me he would have been saying that a long time ago, not just now in 2020 when he's the pound for pound best fighter. Okay, so I think this is at a standstill with Bob Arum saying, hey, I won't pay you because you're not marketable enough. Terence Crawford saying, you know what? The contract says that you have to pay me without pay cuts. I don't give a damn about the pandemic. I understand it messed everybody else up, but you're not going to shortchange me. So Bob Arum is implying that he's going to shortchange Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford saying, hey, by my contract, you can't. So this is what it's going to come down to, people. This won't take long. It's either he pays Terence Crawford or Terence Crawford sues him. That's it. It's happened before. Bob Arum has been in many situations like that. One in point, Mikey Garcia, where he tried to screw Mikey Garcia over money. He's supposed to still owe Floyd Mayweather Jr. money for the Derogatory fight. God bless the dead. But these are the type of things that Bob Arum brings himself into, being thrifty. Okay? And he's being thrifty as an excuse to, well, you gotta be like other people. No, he does not. And I understand, I've seen other videos saying, hey, you know, Terence, if he wants those fights, he got to come out and call out those guys. I mean, he's done that. Could he be more vocal? Sure. But then it's at the expense of, is that really Terence Crawford? I understand if you want something you never had, you got to do something you never done. But at the same time, is that really Terence Crawford? You know, it's one of those things. I mean, look, Errol Spence didn't start showing personality until he gets drunk. You know what I mean? He was a mild-mannered guy himself. He wasn't nothing like that when he started growing his hair out. He started, like, the hair represented the independence of how he thought. So that's Errol Spence, though. He's with a totally different promotional company that he's fine with, along with other people over there. They're fine with the PBC and Fox. Whereas Terence Crawford, he's not getting his just due. He's the best pound-for-pound fighter, and he's not getting it. And it tells me, well, is Bob Arum actually even reaching out for it? Think about it. Is he really wanting that type of fight for that fighter? And what if Errol Spence ends up fighting Manny Pacquiao? What should Terence Crawford do? Leave. Because he's not providing, being the promoter. He's not holding up to his end of the bargain. So he should leave. You know, the insult from Bob Arum. That's really just as bad as what Oscar De La Hoya said. Probably worse than what De La Hoya said about Ryan Garcia. But Ryan Garcia is an up-and-coming fighter. Terence Crawford is a seasoned fighter. Pound-for-pound best fighter, 3-time world champion. Sorry, champion in 3 different weight classes. Totally different thing. So, I applaud Terence Crawford, but I guess it's safe to say. Just like you want Terence Crawford to say, you know what, I'm out. Just like other people expect him to promote himself to get the fights that he wants. So it's kind of hand in hand, but I am proud of Terence Crawford for standing on his word because he knows business and he knows what's owed to him, and what's owed to him is the fight and the contracts that he signed, and that's the money that he should get. Counterpunch. So if Bob Arum should have any kind of slick ass way to sleaze his way out of paying Terence Crawford. Now, what I didn't like is it depends on who we're fighting. No, the contract I don't think stated that. Unless this is a totally different contract. Okay, but, then I'm not taking any pay cuts. That is paramount. That's what the first thing he said. I'm not taking pay cuts. So don't. But if he ever tried to attempt it because of what he said earlier, get rid of him. That's my counterpunch on that. You guys tell me what you think about Terence Crawford's response. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.